Mr. Caleb Kositany, karibu sana kwa KDR TV.
Asante sana.
Tunashukuru sana, kwanza wacha tuanze Kiswahili. Tunashukuru sana kwa wewe kufika Marekani.
Asante.
Lakini sasa nini haswa imekuleta Marekani?
Well, tumekuja Marekani kwa ziara rasmi ya bunge la kitaifa la Kenya, na wakati tumemaliza shughuli ya bunge tukakuta kwamba Wakenya ambao wanaishi hapa, ambao tunaita Wakenya wa diaspora, wanahamu sana kwamba kusikiza sisi viongozi wao, na pia wanahamu sana kusikiza mambo ambayo yanahusu chama mpya ambayo inalete msisimuko katika Jamhuri ya Kenya, inaitwa UDA. Hiyo chama ni chama ambayo tumeanzisha hivi majuzi, na ni chama ambayo itatumika kwa sisi wengi, pamoja na pia naibu wa rais ambaye anawania kiti cha urais katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo tukasema hamna haja ya kurudi nyumbani haraka wakati tumemaliza shughuli. Wacha tufanye ile wazungu huwa wanaita to kill two birds with one stone. Kwa vile tuko tayari Marekani, tuzunguke, tusalamie wa Kenya, tusikize maoni yao, tuwape pia sera za chama cha UDA na maono ambayo tunaona kwamba ni kwa nini tunasema heri tumchague William Ruto awe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni kwa sababu ya utendakazi wake, ambayo popote ambapo ametenda kazi kama waziri, kama mbunge, kuna mfano mema ambaye ameiacha, na Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya inahitaji sana uongozi bora. Ndipo tumesema katika chama cha UDA kwamba msingi wetu wa kuinua uchumi na kufufua uchumi katika taifa la Kenya, tutatumia ile tunaita bottom up, yani tutaanzisha chini tukienda juu, sio juu tukiteremka chini. Tujali maslahi ya wale ambao hawana namna nyingine ya kufikiwa kwa serikali. Mara nyingi wanatumiwa tu kupiga kura. Ndio maana tumesema safari hii lazima hii kazi ambayo udharauliwa ya mkokoteni, hii kazi ambayo udharaulia, unaona mtu anauza miwa barabarani na anasukuma wheelbarrow yake, mara nyingi hao watu huwa wamekodesha hiyo wheelbarrow sio yao. So anaambiwa na mtu, wheelbarrow utalipa shilingi 200 jioni ukimaliza kazi. Anaenda pale anakatakata miwa, anauza, jioni analipa wheelbarrow. Huyo mtu ukimpa wheelbarrow yake, amepata hiyo shilingi 300 ama 200, alishe watoto wake, aweke katika hazina, aweze kulipa karo ya shule na kusaidia wazazi. Na hivyo ndio tunaona kwamba tutakuwa tumesaidia Wakenya wengi kwa namna hiyo.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Mmekuwa kwa chama kubwa ya Jubilee. Na wakati mlikuwa mnachaguliwa mwaka 2013, mlisema kwamba mtaweza kupea Wakenya, especially youth, you'll create job opportunities, 500,000 every year. What really happened ya kwamba sasa you are trying your level best to deassociate yourself from the president?
Well, one thing that should be very clear is that when you are in a vehicle, and should anything happen that is not good or bad even, always it is the driver of the vehicle. The driver of the Jubilee vehicle is President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We started very well in 2013. We did a lot of things, and that time we were in different political parties. He was running TNA, we were running URP, but we were in a coalition agreement. Then in 2016, we started negotiations and said, what are the problems that affect us politically as Kenyans? And we said, our biggest problem is tribalism. Our biggest problem is tribal political parties. When you looked at TNA, you saw it as a Mount Kenya region party. When you looked at URP, it looked like a pastoralist party and Kalenjin because of William Ruto. So we said, let us come together. And we spoke to many other political parties, and they agreed, and we collapsed those parties and formed the Jubilee movement. And we did very well. But somewhere along the line, President Uhuru Kenyatta, after the 2017 elections, decided to change his style of doing things. He decided he was going to have a monologue kind of arrangement, whereby he was the only one who knew what needed to be done, and there was going to be no consultation with those of us who are members of Jubilee, those of us who are believed in his ideology, and that is why we voted for him. And then we lost track. We actually we slid off the track, And we thought he would notice that we've slid off the track and bring us back onto the main road. But we kept on sliding, and now we landed in a ditch. And that is why Jubilee, as you said, is in the past tense, was a very huge party. Right now, they cannot even bring up to 20 members of parliament. And this is a political party, my good friend, which has 172 members of parliament elected in the National Assembly. Absolute majority. It has never happened in the history of the Republic of Kenya, multipartism, that a single political party has that majority in parliament, likewise in the Senate, and even in the county assemblies, and even in the Council of Governors. So our party leader took us off the track. He left the political party to be run by fellows who were serving their own selfish interests. And it is actually sad that Jubilee is just dead. It's actually sad that Jubilee is dead, and with that, a lot of the promises that we gave, because rather than focusing on job creation, rather than focusing on delivering on the promises we made, our party leader and his handshake partner decided that the biggest problem Kenyans had was the Constitution. I am a legislator. I have no problem whatsoever with the current Constitution. I believe we have major problems, bigger problems, and we spend a lot of money and time and resources on this BBI story that really had nothing to benefit Kenyans, but it was camouflaged in a way to benefit the tribal kings and that tribalism that we were trying to get rid of. But we thank God that Kenyans saw through it. We resisted. Kenyans saw through it, and they were with us. Majority of Kenyans were with us. And as we speak, BBI has been set aside by the courts. We pray that the appeal, once they give their ruling towards, I think, 28th of next month, August, we hope the ruling will be favorable to bury BBI where it belongs. And in that process, then we went through a lot of intimidation. As we speak today, a member of parliament was arrested in his home in Nyeri and driven at very high speeds all the way to the DCI headquarters in Nairobi. No charge sheet has been prepared. They just want to dramatize the arrest and put him in up to Friday. I don't know to whose benefit. I don't know why people think that when a member of parliament, you arrest him and he sleeps up to Friday. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua is a man who has been around. He was President Uhuru Kenyatta's PA in 2002 when we were then campaigning for President Uhuru to be president under KANU, and we worked very closely with him. So we are now seeing that they haven't learned yet, because there have been other members who have been arrested. They have come out stronger. They have not broken, their will has not been broken, their focus has not been dented. And we call upon the system, the so-called system, that we tell them, it doesn't matter how many of us you arrest. It really doesn't matter how much more intimidation you bring in. What matters is that the people of Kenya, through their popular vote, like they spoke in Kiambaa, and they spoke in Juja, and they spoke in Rurie, and they spoke in Msambweni, have decided that they're charting a new way forward. It's very uncomfortable for the tribal kings, yes, but it is something that they have to learn to live with.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. From your talk, definitely you are now shifting the blame totally to the president. I've not actually heard you tell us exactly how the DP has also played in this, because from 2013 to 2017, the DP had 50%, it was 50-50. And I really need you to tell us exactly how you managed to achieve from 2013 to 2017 when you were working as a unit. Did you manage to create 500,000 jobs for youths?
I think we created, maybe we did not actually get to 500,000, but the atmosphere that we were operating under, we actually got a lot of red networks done. When we took over as the Jubilee administration, we had 1.5 Kenyans connected to the national grid, electricity. Now we have over 8 million Kenyans connected and still counting. Though that process also has been slowed down because everything focus, and the whole process was politicized. If you are seen to be anti-UDA, your connectivity in your constituency was slowed down to try and weaken you politically. We had a lot of roads which were upgraded to bitumen standards, and Kenyans are happy now. They are able to move around. In fact, the other day when we had the safari rally, traditional areas, like even some areas in my constituency and my county was in issue where we'd have the safari rally, most of those roads are now tarmacked. They are no longer appealing for safari rally because they are tarmacked. So we achieved a lot as a Jubilee administration when we were working together. But when we started, the president changed his working style, I think everything came to a standstill.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. We need now you to give us specific, especially where the deputy president is coming from, Rift Valley. Are there new industries which were created due to the working relationship with the president before 2017 when things actually went south?
We have no new industry that was created, but we have had the revival of the Rivertex factory, which employs over 8,000 Kenyans, and it is now fully operational. We've had, of course, the road network. We've had the electricity connectivity. We've had a lot of our youth joining TVET colleges where they're learning a skill and are able to be self-employed once they finish their training. And we've had a robust diversification in terms of agriculture. We have seen now we're shifting from traditional growing of maize and wheat to growing avocado, growing coffee, growing macadamia, which are actually international selling crops, and that way our farmers will get better profits. So we have seen transformation in the agricultural industry, though the government support on all this has gone down. We don't see any more government subsidy, and these are things that we really hope that the next government will come from the bottom-up approach, will be able to activate. Will be able to activate and capture those things that affect Kenyans directly, so that when we discuss, if Kenya, at the rate at which we have borrowed, if that money we had borrowed was not put into capital-intensive projects, if it was put into agriculture, which employs maybe 80% of Kenyans, then we would have felt it. We would have no problem. We would not feel the burden of repaying that loan because we have money in our pockets. It really doesn't make sense to have highways, mega highways and all, and you have no money in your pocket. I'd rather spend money in the traffic jam, but I have money to feed my family. The most important thing that we need to focus on now as a country is really how do we get Kenyans to be able to make ends meet.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. A few years ago, there was a meeting in Eldoret whereby farmers, especially from the Rift Valley belt, blamed the leadership from bottom to the top in Rift Valley, claiming that you leaders are the ones actually who are letting them down. And they really castigated you so much. So what's your take on that?
Well, that was a highly political move, and I'm happy you've asked that question. It was a highly political move. It was nothing but politics, because the same people who are making all that noise are now in positions of leadership in the agricultural sector. And the agricultural sector is at its worst ever since we became a country, Kenya. The agricultural sector is doing so badly. Government has totally ignored the agricultural sector, totally. And it is actually by the grace of God that we are operating. This year we have had a drought. The rains have delayed. It's just now that it has started opening up. It will salvage some crops somewhere else. Others have made total losses. So it is actually very important for us that we say that what went on at that time was purely politics.
Thank you.
We never involved ourselves in the importation of maize. We never involved ourselves in the selling of fertilizer. It was purely politics.
And you want to tell me that right now, as we are speaking, there are no maize in granaries in farmers' homes?
We have, of course, we have maize, and the prices have been very bad. A lot of farmers have maize in their stores.
So what's the problem then?
They haven't sold.
Are you sure that there are no cartels actually doing that?
No, there are no cartels. In fact, for your information,
yes,
what they did, a lot of those gentlemen and ladies who were actually sued and taken to court, because it was claimed that they delivered more maize than they could prove that they grew them from their farms. Those were traders who were buying from the small-scale farmers.
Middlemen.
Yeah, they were middlemen. Yes. And it is allowed. And they sold, even me, at times, if I'm hard pressed for finances and I have maize, I sell to those middlemen and they go, they give me my cash and they go and market it, sell it to the cereals board. Those traders are suffering up to now. They are really suffering. And there is no case. Every time they're taken to court, there is nothing. There is no case that they're accused of. It's just because it was politics that was targeted. Because at the end of the day, they wanted to rope in the deputy president into this story. So how do you rope in the deputy president? Yes. Bring his friend Caleb, bring his friend Governor Mandago, bring his friend Huandu. And you can see those guys who were accusing us where they are now. So it was purely politics. And it is sad that in the Jubilee administration, we have even politicized livelihoods of people.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you now specifically about Soy constituency. You as an MP right now, fortunately you defeated the young man who was the former MP. Mm-hmm. I actually gave him a job at the district hospital.
Okay.
Yes, that particular
Bashile.
time. Yes, Bashile, yes. Yeah. You defeated him, and the residents decided to give you that position because of your eloquence, because of how you are planning to help them. Is there any change since you took over?
Oh, there's a lot of change. There's a lot of change in
and we can go on the ground and then
and we can go on the ground and see.
Okay,
there's a lot of transformation
there. Yeah.
When you send your team, in fact, what you do,
yes,
send them and don't tell me. Okay. They will go and get the story.
Perfect.
Because I don't want somebody to say I influenced. I influenced the story. Sure. We have done a lot.
Okay.
The Constituency Development Fund (CDF) is God sent. It has transformed the livelihoods and the standards of the education facilities that we are mandated by the Act, CDF Act, to construct and ensure that they're in good, usable conditions. We now in Soy constituency, when I took over, I had some secondary schools, actually many, which did not have laboratories. Some of them were day schools. Some of them would actually the students would trek about 5 or so kilometers to a neighboring secondary school to be able to borrow and use the facilities, laboratory facilities. So we sat down with my CDF committee and we said, listen, let us stop everything else and ensure that every secondary school in Soy constituency, however small, however big, has a modern laboratory. I'm happy to say that in my term, we're now at the tail end of finalizing the final laboratories. And we are happy that that will transform our students so that when they are doing their exams, if you are in whatever small school, when the students in Alliance High School are doing their exams, you're also doing your exams in a comfortable and well-equipped laboratory. So that is one of the things we have done. We have built a lot of classrooms. We have renovated a lot of old schools. We enhanced the electricity connectivity the first 2 years before we got into this slowdown by the handshake. We still have a lot of work to do. We cannot complete all the work. Of course, not everybody 100% will feel that we have done what was needed, and that is the nature of the game we are in politics. Our road network is not that bad. We have a road network that is actually quite motorable. We have 1 or 2 roads where the contractor get delayed, but now that has been sorted out. We hope the contractor will be on site so that they can be upgraded to bitumen standards. And we are happy also that the education standards have gone up. When we look at the results from our primary school children, secondary school, we send a lot of students to university this time around. And a lot of them opted not to go to university first, but to go to TVET colleges to learn a skill and then later on pursue their degree courses, and which is something that is very encouraging. The most important, of course, is that we've had a peaceful working environment. Peace is very paramount for any leader. Ensure that, especially when you're leading in a cosmopolitan constituency like Soy and a county like Uasin Gishu, it is very important that you maintain all communities at the same level so that nobody feels left out.
Thank you very much. Mheshimiwa, you are coming from a very cosmopolitan constituency. You understand that. And right now, from reliable sources, we've heard that you want to be the executive of the county. What plans do you have for the county?
Well, I am happy that I'm here in the US and I have seen a lot. I was in Texas and I went to see their ranches and I looked at the way they do their things. I had a meeting with the members of the East Africa Chamber of Commerce and we were discussing on what products they can buy from Kenya. One of the key products that they actually would love to buy from Kenya are things like avocado, coffee, and macadamia. It's a big thing. And I think we want to transform Uasin Gishu, being an agricultural country, being an agricultural county, and a county that has, I think, the best climate, I would say, in the world is in Uasin Gishu. We want to transform now our way of doing agriculture to make sure that our farmers get profit. Exactly where they will. It is no longer possible to make money doing the traditional farming of growing maize, beans here and wheat here. And no, we need now to get our farmers to go seriously into dairy farming, enhance their beef production activities, and grow these high-value crops, which they can market internationally. And right now, I was being told by the members of the Chamber of Commerce when we met in Dallas, Texas, that once we have enough production of coffee and we have milled it in Eldoret, we package it and they will market it direct here so that we cut off no middlemen. Will be involved in the marketing of the produce that we'll produce from Uasin Gishu County. We'll be marketing it directly to the US and any other country so that the bulk of the money goes to the farmer. And that is where we want to, that is my vision for Uasin Gishu. Because as I aspire to be governor of Uasin Gishu, I do not want to reinvent the wheel. I do not want to search for ways to uplift the livelihoods of my people outside the resources that we have. We want to tap in the resources that we have, make sure we produce from the farms we have. We're already producing maize and others, and they're not as profitable as we would love to. But if we diversify, we're good to go.
Thank you very much. Answer this particular question here. Some people are already, your competitors are already accusing you that you have a ticket. So what can you say about that?
Yes, that is how politics is. When your opponents are scared of you, they start saying this man already has the ticket. But as we have always said, there's a shortage of fools in Kenya. All people know that UDA has not held nominations. We are going to go through a nomination process. I will welcome anybody who is my competitor, that we go through a free and fair nomination process to get the best candidate. And leaders are chosen by two people. One, God, the other one by the people. I will pray to God and I will seek the people's mandate. And if it is me who God blesses, then I will be the next governor of Uasin Gishu County.
Thank you very much. Now, Mheshimiwa, because of time, let's reduce the questions. We'll continue discussing more time, even if you go back to Kenya. We'll look for ways and means actually for you to come to our shows. Mm-hmm. So this question here now, directly from the diaspora. What is the DP bringing on table for the diaspora people?
Yes, that is a very good question, because for a very long time, the diaspora constituency, let me call it a constituency, which in terms of remittance, financial remittance back to Kenya, are a very significant part of the economy. They have not been treated the way they should be treated. They have not been given the attention that they do, that is required of people who participate in the well-being of fellow Kenyans, and a lot of them. I know there are millions of Kenyans who depend on their brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora. One of the key things that we are going to do as a party of UDA is that once we form government, we shall have the ministry that will be in charge of diaspora affairs, so that you have a particular ministry that handles diaspora affairs. The second thing that we would like to push is that when we have nomination slots, we would like to have one nominated senator and one nominated member of parliament, and we will observe, of course, the gender balance, to be nominated from the diaspora family, from the diaspora constituency, so that whenever you have issues, those people, those who have been nominated, can come and present them in parliament. We'd also want to have all the county governments to have a section whereby their members of that county who are in their diaspora have a desk whereby they can bring in their issues. And especially, we want to protect the diaspora constituency from being conned by people who don't want to work hard for their money, and they will tell you we have a land here that is selling, we have a house here we're selling, and they will sell you air. We know a lot of people in the diaspora are now having issues with the people who have conned the money. They have some who have been in court for about 11 years, and you can imagine being in court. You are in the US, you have a court case going on in Nairobi, you are told the hearing is coming up next week, you travel, and then when you get there, you're told the judge fell sick. The case is in it. So we want to actually have a way whereby we can protect the diaspora investments. Make sure that if there are any litigations to be done, it should be exhausted by the time you are investing. It is on a clean business. And I think we have work in progress. I know one of the key things that the diaspora family would love is the want to vote. And that is very important, that every Kenyan, wherever they are, should be allowed and should be able to exercise their vote, at least even for the presidential.
Sure.
So I think it is something that when we go back home, we are going to task IEBC. We are going to ask them what has happened, if the people in diaspora can vote. The other issue that I know happens here with the diaspora from a meeting even we held yesterday, you were present, is the issue of passport renewal. It should not be difficult to renew a passport for somebody who is in the diaspora. All the records are there in Kenya. If your passport expires, it should just be an email and you are told collect your passport. So I think we also need to look at the issue of opening consulate offices. I was very impressed yesterday when members of the diaspora that we met yesterday said we are even ready to volunteer to work at that consulate at no pay, so that we can have services. So which government wouldn't want to just maybe rent an office?
Sure.
And even at this with the new normal,
sure,
with COVID, you don't even really need to rent an office. You just can work from home.
Oh, sure.
And I think that is one thing that I will be pushing. I will ask a question in Parliament, and we want to ensure work with the diaspora even now, before even the election. Whatever we can do now, we will do. We are available to ensure that we enact the necessary laws, legislature back home, so that we can have the diaspora more comfortable than they already are.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. The last question. You are the mouthpiece. Let me just say specifically that people have actually now decided to say that you are the mouthpiece of the DP. I don't know whether you'll take that tag, but I mean, that's what people say. You are the vice chairman you are the vice
Deputy Secretary General
of Jubilee, and that is a topmost position in a party. And right now, people are really wondering, especially the youths, that what you are promising the youth are wheelbarrows. I mean, are you going to distribute wheelbarrows in Kenya, throughout Kenya, or you are looking for other means and ways of uplifting the living standards of Kenyans?
Well, one thing is, I am not the official spokesman of the Deputy President.
Tentatively.
We are many of us. If there was any that position, there can never be an official spokesman.
Nowadays, you are giving...
No, there can never be that position of official spokesman of the Deputy President. We are many.
Okay.
We are many. Mm-hmm. Even Honorable Gujiria also speaks on his behalf. But we are a big family. Mm-hmm. We are a big family. Mm-hmm. It just depends on our availability. Maybe I am more available to the media, and that is why people see that, and maybe at that time I position as Deputy Secretary General.
Yes.
But let me say this. The issue of the wheelbarrow has a symbol for our political party. It's not that we are going to give youth wheelbarrows. That is a symbol. That is a beginning. Wheelbarrow has been used in every home. However rich you may be, there has to be a wheelbarrow in your home because it has a purpose. It is a starting point for somebody to move from point A heading to wherever they want to end up. And this party symbol has caused a wave in the Republic of Kenya. Everybody now is talking about the wheelbarrow, either positively or negatively, which is a good thing. I think the most important thing that Kenyans should look at is who is behind this wheelbarrow initiative. Who is behind this political party symbol? Is a man called William Ruto, the Deputy President. William Ruto has a track record. When he was a member of Parliament for Eldoret North constituency, his track record has not been beaten by anybody. For your information, the constituency I represent and Tarbo constituency, Soy and Tarbo, were one constituency represented by William Ruto. Very vast. And he managed to run it for 15 years. He went, and for the first time, in Eldoret North, somebody was elected for 3 terms as member of parliament. When he was made a minister for agriculture, he specifically pushed for the subsidy program. And that time they were working together with President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was then Minister of Finance, and President Mwai Kibaki. And at that time, a 50 kg bag of fertilizer was selling at 6,500. But with the subsidy program, the subsequent year, we bought fertilizer at 2,500. We bought the top dressing fertilizer at 1,500. And farmers made money, and we were happy. He was moved from Minister of Agriculture and sent into the Ministry of Higher Education. That is where he piloted the double intake. Remember, our students, our kids who would finish university, stay home for 2-3 years. Yes. Some get lost in drugs, some get babies, and by the time now they are called to go to university, they have completely lost hope. He said, no, let's have the double intake. With a lot of resistance from those who in the system, he managed to push it, and now the students who finished their Form 4 last year are ready to join university within less than a year, and that way people are able to complete their education when they're still young and energetic and start fending for themselves. The TVET colleges, you remember there was a time when now the fashion in Kenya was any college, even teachers' colleges were being abolished, were being closed and turned into universities. But he came and said, no, we need both. We need the university, but we also need the technical training colleges. And he piloted a program. I remember, of course, a technical training college that is in my constituency, Ziwa. He came and held a meeting and told us, let us turn this into a technical training college. Let us build the secondary school elsewhere. And as we speak, we now have about 2,600 students in that technical training college in Ziwa. It has transformed the economy of the area. It has transformed the livelihoods of those who have graduated from that institution. In fact, we have many students now who are working, doing manual jobs, and are studying, and they're able to pay their own school fees. They are no longer dependent on their parents or constituency bursary or county bursary allocation. So this is a man with a track record. If you ask me why William Ruto, I can go on and on and on. And let me say this because of the tribal nature of our politics in Kenya. And at times people get captured and you are asked, we are seeing William Ruto alone. Why is he alone and not with the other team? And this is because they see team of Raila represents the Luo, Kalonzo represents the Kamba, Mudavadi represents the Luya. Then, of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta, they say now kingpin of the Kikuyu. So they're saying this William Ruto is with nobodies. And the other guys are with somebodies. But that has changed. Those with William Ruto are very many emerging leaders. Those with William Ruto, when you see him move somewhere, he does not move with only Kalenjin MPs. He moves with a variety of members of parliament. The only person in Kenya now who can call a meeting of members of parliament and assemble 120, 130, 150 members of parliament is William Ruto.
You sure the president can't do that?
He cannot.
You are on live TV.
Yes, I let him do it. Let him do it. From various the president will have a bulk of ODM members of parliament, not Jubilee, but the Jubilee family. Yeah, and that is, and not because he's bought them, as people would like to say, not because, but because he listens, because he has time to sit down and listen to our ideas. He has time to visit our constituencies and help us achieve certain goals that our constituencies want. He has this heart, the human heart of giving and knowing that there's somebody there who has slept hungry, like he did when he was struggling, and that is why this hustler tag is there. Not because we want to glorify poverty, but we are trying to say it is doable, irrespective of your background, irrespective of who your parents were or are, irrespective of whether you are rich from a rich family or a poor family. You can achieve it through trust in God and hard work.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. You are closing short. You are here to participate on Minnesota UDA forum or chapter. People of Minnesota have decided actually to open an office for UDA, and you'll be attending that particular function. What do you tell the leaders, and what do you tell people in diaspora about opening UDA chapters across the globe?
Well, I think I'm actually, I don't know what is going on. I love UDA, but I think the people of diaspora love UDA more. And that is very, very encouraging. I have been in politics since 1988 when I first voted. That's about 33 years ago. But I've never seen this kind of enthusiasm, this kind of love, this kind of need to be involved in a political movement the way I am seeing with I think ODM managed to achieve some mileage with the diaspora, but I think UDA is at another level. I'm quite impressed that with the commitment and the resolve to work with UDA, and the most important, and what pleases me most, is we've cut out the tribal tags. Like yesterday, we had a function. The chairman of the UDA Minnesota chapter comes from Kositany. That is how we want Kenya to be. So I think I want to tell the people of diaspora, we will not let you down. We will listen to you now. We will listen to you when we have formed government. We will want to work together. And the most important point I know, which is dear in your hearts, is to vote. And we're going to push for that. If it is possible for you to vote, it would be our pleasure that you exercise that right to elect, to participate in our elections, because whatever you do here, you have investments back home, you're a huge constituency, you need to be heard, you need to be listened to. Some of your issues need to be actually attended, like yesterday, not any other day. So I think it is a good thing. We opened an office in Boston. We opened another one in Missouri. We are going to Atlanta tomorrow. We'll be having a function tomorrow afternoon in Atlanta. On Sunday, we'll be opening an office in Dallas, and I'll be meeting Kenyans in Kansas City. I'll not go back to Dallas. And I wish we could be here longer, but because of other duties, we will go back home. But as and when the diaspora team, the Kenyan diaspora team requires us, please, we shall ensure we put together the resources and come and listen to you here. But we are also welcoming the diaspora to put together their blueprint. Let them put together their blueprint. Let them work as a team and come up with a blueprint that we as UDA will look into and maybe actually plug it into our manifesto, which is now work in progress, so that we are able to capture the issues that affect the people of diaspora and the issues that they would love addressed. We can always address them back home.
Thank you.